Hey, it's me, Mercury, and I'm back with another what if Deku had a elemental manipulation quirk. Now, where we last left off was Deku getting swarmed by kids and Bakugo comparing himself to Deku, all because of his quirk. Now, skip a few years, he's in the second year of middle school. Well, it's more than a few years. So yeah, he's in the second year of middle school, and over the course of those years that I skipped, him and Bakugo had a friendly rivalry. They would fight a lot. They'd fight and spar against each other, but they'd also fight with each other against other people. And Bakugo would help Deku get a control of his quirk, as Deku would help Bakugo get strengthen his quirk, and they're both training physically and mentally. Well, not mentally, but they're training their physical bodies as well as their quirks, but mostly their quirks. Now, back to the present. Uh, the teacher is writing something on the board, and he turns around to ask a question, and he sees that Deku is missing, and he knows that Deku was there because he saw him before he turned around. And he asked the girl next that was sitting next to Deku, "Where did Midoriya go?" And she's just sitting there, looking down at her desk, and is like, and he has to begin. Jane, where's Midoriya? He disappeared. And Midoriya looks at her and is like, I didn't disappear. As everybody just jumps, as they did not expect to hear his voice. And Bakugo says, Izuku, you're invisible. And he's like, what do y'all mean? You're not playing a prank on me, are you? No, we're not. You're invisible. And Deku looks at the teacher and is like, I... I'm invisible? Yes, you are. We're not playing a prank on you. And Baku is like, well, how did you turn invisible? I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. I didn't know I was invisible because I could still see myself. And everybody's shocked to hear that he can see himself. And they're like, well, Baku's like, well, what'd you do to turn invisible? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. Actually, I think I was paying attention. It's just, yeah, now that I think about it, everything's hazy. Wait, what do you mean hazy? Like, I was here, but I wasn't. I don't know how to explain it. And Oku was like, well, think. You had to do something. Go back to before everything became hazy. And he's like, I do. And I was focusing on school. I don't know. And he's like, Oku's like, Izuku, calm down and think. And he's like, I am. As he just comes back into view. And everybody's like, okay, Midoriya, calm down. We can see you again. He's like, oh, God. Thank God. And, well, Bugger's like, yeah, we're going to have to get a handle on that quirk. And we're going to have to get a handle on your emotions. And he's like, what do you mean? I was perfectly normal. He's like, no, you were you outburst, like wind was flying everywhere, and I'm pretty sure I felt my body boil a little. And Deku's like, "What do you mean boil? I wasn't using my quirk." And everybody's like, "Yeah, he was." And Midoriya, he's just like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to." And the and the teacher lets Izuku go to the nurse's office to calm down. So yeah, so now it's after school, and Deku and Bakugo is walking home. Deku goes home and Bakugo is with him. And Bakugo calls his mom. Well, yeah. Now, okay. That him and Deku is going to train. And she gives the okay, but you have to be back by 10:30. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Now, as that's happening, Deku's happy and he goes to his mom and says, "Hey mom, hey mom, hey mom. I my quirk evolved again. I got something new." I was like, and she's surprised by this and is like, "I didn't know he's going to get something new." Yeah, apparently I can turn invisible. And she is surprised by that, like, but your quirk is elemental based. I know, right? And me and Bakugo is going to go train. And she says, "Okay, but be back early. I got a surprise for you." And Deku says, "Okay, I'll be back as soon as I can. Bye." Now, him and Bakugo run towards the woods. And when they get there, they immediately just try to figure out how that happened and what it is. But they are covered by shade. And nothing's happening. Not even when Deku remembers what he did and acted on it. And he's confused, like, why isn't this working? I remember what I did, and I did the exact same thing. Well, maybe it has another factor to it. Huh? What do you mean? As Bakugo says, well, the room was light, and there was no shadows over you, but, I don't know. Come with me. As they both walk and they find a river that is. They find a plain that's not covered by trees, and like, okay, well, we can try it here. As he steps into the light, the parts that are in the light just are invisible. And Bakugo says, stop, 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 stop. And Deku looks at him and says, what? Uh, I can't see part of your body. He's like, what do you mean? Exactly what I mean. Step back into the shadows. As he does, there. Your body's back. Hold on, let me take a picture. Now, as he takes a picture, he says, now walk into the light. Only halfway though. And he steps halfway into the light, and Bakugo takes another picture. And he shows them to Deku. Now, see? You're right here, and then he swipes over, but you're half missing when you're in the light. Well, half of you is missing when you're in the light. And Deku thinks, like, so, fire? ice, water, wind, air, earth, and lightning. What is this one? Well, obviously it has something to do with light because it didn't work when using the shadows. And Deku's like, maybe you're right. And he's like, I wonder. That's 7. Do I have any more? Like, Baku says, what do you mean? Deku says, well, maybe I could control even more elements than the 7 that we already know? And but Baku is like, dude, that'd be too crazy, and what I don't even know. And Deku's like, well, it is worth a try. I mean, I do sometimes disappear when I'm in the dark, even though I do get spotted sometimes. I'm very good at hide and seek. I wonder. As Deku just runs into the shadows and thinks like, I want to hide. As he just starts to blend in, and Bakugo looks around and says, wait, Midoriya, where'd you go? And he just sneaks up behind Bakugo and says, I'm right here. As he jumps around, like, holy fuck, when did you get there? It's like, just now. I walked straight by you. Did you not see me? No, I didn't. What do you mean you walked straight by me? I was over by that tree, and when you looked away, I said, I thought I wanted to hide. And I did. Then I snuck around past you, and, well, here we are. Now, Baku's like, light, shadows. You're yin and yang. Like, don't call me that again, Bakugo. Like, no, think of it. Light, dark, yin and yang. No. And this is like, okay, well, I've got to go home because apparently I got a surprise waiting for me. And it's getting quite late. Oh my gosh, the sun's almost down. What time is it, Bakugo? It's like, Bakugo pulls out his phone and is like, oh, I'm almost late. Uh, yeah, we better go. And he says, it's 10 o'clock, so we better hurry. And now, they just run home, and Deku just steps, like, like, he's running through the shadows, and sometimes light hits him. And Bakugo sees his body just distort. And Bakugo says, hold on. And Bakugo says, hold on, Midoriya, wait. And Deku just stops in a light spot, and his body just starts to distort more, and Bakugo just rushes and touches him. Then their scenery changes. They're right in front of Deku's house. And both of them are disoriented and they throw up. And Inko just walks outside, and she sees them throwing up, and she gets them into the house, saying, why were you two throwing up? As Deku says, something weird just happened. And Inko's like, what do you mean by weird? Because you do a lot of weird stuff. And Bucky's just like, teleport. That's the easiest way we can explain it. Teleport. And Inko's just like, what? But what? And she's just like, okay, whatever. Bakugo, you need to get home, because someone's here to see Deku. And everybody confused by this, and Like, what do you mean here to see Deku? I mean, let's see Izuku. This is, what do you mean see Izuku? It's like, well, yeah, it's hard to explain. So, can you just go home for today and you can come back tomorrow? Okay, Miss Midoriya. I can. Well, on Ego, I can. And Bakugo leaves. And Inko sets Midoriya down and says, this is going to be hard to explain, but someone's here to see you. And I don't know how you'll feel about it. And Deku's like, what do you mean someone's here to see me? I was like, I'm here to see you. And he just immediately turns around and sees somebody. And it looks a little like him. And it's like, who are you? As he just looks away, thinking. Then he looks back and says, I'm your dad. Now, Midoriya goes wide-eyed and says, what do you know? You're not my dad. I don't have a dad. And Ito's surprised by hearing that. And so is Hisashi. And he's like, he's hurt. He's like, very hurt. He's like, why? That is, why you gotta be so mean for? And he just says, I'm sorry for not being there. Work took longer than expected, and I finally got a break. And Doy's like, okay, but why come back now? Why not earlier? Because it would have been nice to see you at least one time. I'm already basically grown up. I'm halfway through middle school. Why come back right now? And Sashi just sees like small. Sasashi and Inko sees small tendrils that are emanating from his shadow and body, and they're like, calm down, Izuku, calm down. And yeah, I said that too much. Oh well. Well, they basically tell him to calm down, and he just keeps getting mad as the candle in the living room just starts getting higher and hotter. Now, nobody notices this. Oopsie daisy. I didn't know I was doing that. Now, Inko and Hisashi notice this, and he's like, you didn't tell me it was that strong, and it drives off of his emotions. Yeah, didn't know it drove off of that. And it's like, what are you two talking about? Don't ignore me and tell me, why did you come back now? As it just blurs into like a big flame. As shadows just emanate from him, and when the fire bursts, the flame just immediately dies down and the tendrils disappear. And everybody's like, okay, well, we're going to let you calm down, and we're going to talk about this later. And we'll let you and your dad get caught up and have some time together. Now, as they leave, Deku's like shocked and not as angry, and he realizes what he said, and he doesn't know why he said it. Now, let's cut to the next day. No, let's cut to where he's asleep. and he's dreaming. It's happy, it's peaceful, and the scene changes. And it's just pitch black. And he sees himself standing in front of him. Actually, no, wait. They're all around me. There's 8. And they all look different. What is this? As they all say, control. Control, anger, sadness, happy, uh, jealousy. Like, just labels off each emotion. Now, I'm not going to tell you which emotion they derive from, because as you could tell, 2 of them derive from the same thing. Well, similar things. And they all just step away. They all just move in front of Deku, and they all come together, and he just sees a bright light, and it says Unity. No, not Unity. Don't know why I said Unity. Unity. As he wakes up in a cold sweat, and he finds that his room is trashed. And Inko and Hisashi just burst through the door and ask if everything's alright. And Deku's like, yeah, I'm fine, just a weird dream. And they're kind of worried, but they're like, okay, well, it's already time to get up and get ready for school. So he gets up, takes a shower, because, well, he's already sweated a whole lot in his sleep. And he gets something to eat, then heads off to school after saying bye to his mother. Now, when he gets to school, he finds Bakugo and he tells him what happened. Then he tells him about his dream. And he's like, it was extremely weird and I was sort of freaking out, but I still kind of am, but I'm calmer. And Bakugo's like, what did you mean by when they said unity? And he's like, I don't know. I guess when my emotions are not scrambled? And right now they kind of are. And, well, Bakugo says, okay, we'll get a hold on this, and we'll figure it out slowly. And Deku says, okay. Now, we're going to skip 2 years, and it's the last day of school. Now, Bakugo, he got friends to help him, and Deku get trained at quirks better, and actually get Deku accustomed to his new abilities. And he can actually use quite a bit of it. And he's figured out everything that he thinks that is all he can do. And yes, I say think because he can do a little bit more. And school's out. But before that, like, it's sort of like canon. You all want to be heroes, and 2 of y'all went and applied for UA, and Bucko was like, yeah, because only us 2 can get in, not these bunch of losers. And Deku's like, hey, calm it, Bakugo. He's like, what? You know it's true. He's like, it doesn't matter if it's true or not. Everybody can get in. It's just how you use your quirk. Everybody's like, hmm, I guess he's kind of right. Because some of them have some weird quirks, but weird quirks and some strong quirks, some weak quirks, like all around. And, well, Deku, it's after school, and Deku's walking home with Bakugo. But Deku says, I'm going to take the shortcut. I'll see you later. Bakugo's like, yeah, sure. I'll see you in 30? Okay. And, well, he's walking through the tunnel. And he just feels a slight tingle. And he's like, what is that? As the sludge villain, while grabs him and starts to suffocate him. And he's like, well, kid, I'm sorry about this, but I need your body. And as Deku's suffocating, he's noticing that he's starting to breathe. And it's like, when he actually does take a full breath, he's like, I can breathe. What is this? And that's when All Might shows up and smashes the villain. And Deku starts coughing up the sludge that he breathed in. And he's like, well, kid, you gotta be careful. As he's collecting the sludge villain and putting him into bottles. And Deku's like, oh, wait, hold on, All Might. He's like, wait, hold on, you're All Might. Oh my gosh. As he just starts fanboying, and All Might's like, okay, kid, calm down. I need to get this villain to a hospital. I mean, not a hospital, but to jail. As Deku says, hold on, can you sign my notebook? And All Might does, and he's like, okay, I'll see you later, kid. As he jumps off. Now, is ecstatic, and he gets home. And Bakugo, say around 9, Bakugo just barges into his room, and he's like, hey, oi, Midoriya, we were supposed to meet up hours ago. What happened? And Deku's like, oh, I totally forgot about that. I have a perfectly good explanation. He's like, you better have a perfectly good explanation. I was attacked. It was like, Buckers is like, wait, what? Yeah, hold on, that's not the best part. All Might saved me. And I got his autograph. And Baku's is just like, in disbelief, and he's like, show me. And I will believe you. And he just pulls out his notebook and shows him All Might's autograph. And Bakugo's like, okay, I forgive you, but you have to send me a picture. And Deku does. And that's about it. So, a few days go by. No, let's say a few months go by, and Bakugo and Deku were training. 3 months go by, and Bakugo and Deku were training. And All Might sees that they're moving trash off the beach. And he's like, that's the kid I saved, and I'm guessing that's his friend. Now, he's just watching them as Midoriya is moving more and lifting more than Bakugo. And when they clear off a section enough for them to fight, they actually start fighting and training. Now, this goes on for a few days. Not a few days, but for about 4 months. And the beach is totally cleared, and All Might is in shock as they moved the trash in about 7 months. And he walks up to him and says, You kids did good. Along with your training? Impressive. And Bucky was like, hey, who are you, old man? Well, uh, you'll probably figure it out soon. And he's like, well, were you all training for? And both of them are like, UA. You all going to UA? Deku's like, yeah. We're both want to become heroes. And Bucky's like, quirks up and says, I'm going to be number one, no matter how strong you get, Deku. I meant Midoriya. And as they both just like get into a friendly or rivalry arguments, as it turns into a fight. Now, All Might laughs at this and is like, you kids need to calm down. And, as he just walks away and says, I hope I'll see you two again, and he just leaves. Now, they're both thinking that this is weird, and they just go back to training. Now, the rest of the 10 months, and Deku's on his own walking into UA. And he is nervous, and he trips. Yes, I'm keeping it similar to Kanan. And Uraraka saves him from falling. Now, he's kind of freaking out as he accidentally teleports a few feet away. And she's like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to startle you. And she sets him down. He's like, oh no, it's okay. I just wasn't expecting that, and I didn't expect to fall. And, well, she's like, okay, I'll see you inside. And he's like, Midoriya says, okay, see ya. Now, Deku, I'd say he plays probably about 10th in the final exam. No, not 10th. Because he is, I'd say, probably about 3rd in the written exam. And he does this pretty fast, as he just, he's like, okay, my thought process is going a bit too fast for me. And he kind of knows why, but he doesn't entirely know why. Nobody knows, like, nobody can figure it out. As he's walking out, and he sees people stretching. Well, he starts stretching, getting ready for the combat portion. As he sees Uraka, and he goes up to thank her again and ask for her name. Ida stops him and says, well, you don't go up to her and disrupt her, as you can see she's preparing herself, getting ready. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I didn't want to go up there to interrupt her or distract her. I wanted to go up to her and say thank you for helping me. He's like, that's okay, but do it after the test. And Midoriya's like, okay, I will. And Ida walks off, and Midoriya starts to get prepared. Now, he just feels a tingle throughout his body, as he's like, what is this? It's as it just gets stronger and stronger, and everybody can see his muscles just tight, like growing and then tightening down. As when the door opens and President Mike says go, he is just zooming as Ida looks back and is like, that boy is kind of fast. And Deku's like, when did I get this fast? As he just looks up and he's like, his mind is giving him instructions, like what to do, as it's combat prepared. Yes, I'm doing this. His mind gives him, like, his mind is like in combat mode. Yes, I'm giving his mind modes. Just as kind of different personalities, basically. And he just throws up his hand, like, he straightens his hand, brings it down to the side, turns it to where it's like like a knife, and he just slices up as wind just cuts into the robot. Then he just kicks up his foot as a spike comes out of the ground and jabs up into the robot. And it just goes on and on. And everybody's noticing this as Deku jumps now as it's time for the zero pointer. And Deku's got quite a lot of points. And he's like, okay, that's enough for now, I think. As he hears a scream and a loud crash. Well, he sees the zero pointer come in and crash into a building. As he's like, oh god, yeah, I don't think I could take that. As he hears a scream and his mind's going faster than when it was when he was taking the written portion of the test. And time just seems to slow down. And he's looking around and he sees Uraraka. Then time just starts to speed up a little bit. Well, speeds up a lot as it's back to normal time, and he's just zooming over there as he got faster. And he lifts up the rock and throws it away. As the zero pointer is about to take the final step, he just goes over to it, touches it, and immediately feels the shock that was going out through his body at the beginning, as he's just draining the electricity from the robot. And he's like, dang, this is new. As his muscles just get bigger, a little, not much. And the robot just stops. And everybody's looking at this and it's like, did that boy just stop that robot by pushing on its leg? As sparks just begin to spark off of him. And he's like, no, he did not stop it just by pushing. He did something else. And All Might sees this and he's like, that boy's quirk is strong. And he's like, he could be one, but so could the other boy. And he's like, which one should I choose? Because he sees Bakugo just destroying just as many, but not as many as Deku. And he goes over to Uraraka and says, oh, you alright? And she's like, yeah. As he just feels his mind giving him another set of instructions. He holds his hand up to the light and a ball just gathers into it. And it's pure. It's not bright, but you can just tell that it's a pure light. And he's like, do you mind? And she's like, what are you going to do? It's like, I'm not entirely sure, but I think I'm going to heal you a little bit. And she's like, well, it's worth a try. As he touches her leg, and it immediately just heals. There's like nothing was wrong. And he picks her up, well, helps her stand up and says, well, I I guess this is goodbye for now, and I hope to see you in class if we both get in the same class. And she's like, yeah. As she's about to, as she asks for his name, Deku just disappears, and he's like, crap, I forgot to get her name. And everybody just sees him disappear, and so does All Might, and he's like, okay, that kid is extremely strong, and he can do whatever that was. I think I'm going to give it to him. And, well, that's the end of that. And, well, after a day or two, him and Bakugo meet up as they both got their. Well, was it a day or two or was it a week? Well, after they got their letters of acceptance, Bakugo and his mother comes to his house because Bakugo wanted to open up with Izuku, and as they both opened it up, they both got accepted, and it was both into. They both got accepted in class 1A, and that their uniforms would be sent to them, and yada yada yada. So everybody's just celebrating, and Deku's got used to Hisashi being there. As he apologizes to Hisashi for what he said when they first met. Now, his emotions still aren't in unity, but they're getting close. And yeah, I guess that's a good stopping point for right now, as I still need to figure out where I'm going to take this. I have a few ideas, but yeah, I also want to know who I should ship in this, because I have a few. It's either Uraraka and Deku, Jiro and Deku, or Mei and Deku. Well, Mei or Momo and Deku. So those four. And I'm not sure who I should ship with them. So, yeah. Write down in the comments who you think I should ship with them, and I hope you all have a nice day. Bye.